So, you have heard about Leagues 4. And you don't know a lot. That means you're going to be in the same boat that I am in. That's kind of what today's video is going to be about. We are going to be discussing Leagues 4, Trailblazer Reloaded. Yes, it is based off of Trailblazer, which is Leagues 2. If you played Leagues previously, I actually have not played Leagues previously. However, I've watched several people play through Leagues, Leagues 2 and Leagues 3 specifically. So I know a fair bit, and I would consider in-game inside of RuneScape. I'm not like, I guess I would consider myself more late game. I do bosses and I do raids, but I'm not like done with everything. Uh, but I know a lot about the game. So, and a quick disclaimer, today's video is going to be more podcast discussion style based, so it's going to be something that you kind of have on in the background that you're listening to. It's not going to be something that you engage with really, or you're actively watching the screen. However, if you do want to do that, I will be researching alongside the video while discussing everything in Leagues 4 and kind of strategizing how I'm going to do things, how I'm planning things out for my Leagues 4. Because I haven't really played Leagues before, so I want to get a good strategy going, and I want to explain and discuss with you guys pros and cons of every single area to unlock. Because in this Leagues, we're going to be area locked. We're going to be starting in Karamja and Misthalin, and we'll unlock 3 areas following that. And yeah, just kind of break stuff down, pros and cons of every area, why I would do stuff, why I wouldn't do stuff if I unlock a certain area, and kind of my plan. And honestly, I might be figuring some of that out in this video. So without further ado, stop wasting your time. Go ahead and jump into it. So, like I said, we're going to be locked to Misthalin and Karamja. This is the official Old School RuneScape website. They posted the leagues thing here. Initially, you'll be area locked to Misthalin and Karamja. All of our journeys began. As before, you'll be able to unlock other areas after completing tasks and accumulating points. So we will want as many completable tasks as possible going forward, and to get more points. So the harder the tasks, the better, and also the more tasks that there are to complete, the better. You can only unlock 3 additional regions. So initially, I thought it was only 2 additional regions. So this actually changes the game to me. This is awesome. Awesome news. More regions you have available, more tasks you'll be able to complete, of course. More points you'll get. With those points, you'll be able to spend them on fancy cosmetic rewards you can purchase for your main game save. That's exactly what we're talking about today. Okay, we don't need to know about the rewards. If you want to go to the rewards and see them, the link is up here. Maybe I'll put it in the description down below. You can also just go to the Old School RuneScape website. But it's not what we're talking about today. It's just some stuff here. I actually really like the rejuvenation pool, but again, it's not what we're talking about today. So we're starting in Misthalin and Karamja. So this is Misthalin. Misthalin is the base area of the game, the free-to-play part of the game, if you will. It ranges from everything to Edgeville, Lumbridge, Tutorial Island, all the way to Fossil Island, or not Fossil Island, sorry, Dig Site, right before Fossil Island, and Draenor Manor. We can even actually complete Priest in Peril here, if that is an option. We have Barbarian Village as well, so we can get a quick 10k. That's probably a small task right when you get in the game. And then we also have some of the unlocks here. This is a small little Reddit post that was made. I think this was actually made for Leagues 4. Yeah, it was made for Leagues 4. It was a small little Reddit post someone chopped up together. This is super useful. But I'm going to be using this as kind of a guide. This is just some of the important unlocks behind areas. This is not going to define what you do or tell you, oh, hey, you should be doing such and such area so you can get this. It's not going to be like that. Leagues is much more broad than that. It's much more, there's so much more that you can do. So there's not going to be any one best area. But there will be areas that are probably going to be like a always must have. Like desert is going to be really strong. And since you have 3 regions to pick from, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 regions. There's a good chance that you'll be picking some of them, some of the better ones. There will be better and worse ones. Like I mean, all of them have their benefits. I'll be honest here. All of them have their benefits. Like this is honestly, it's pretty hard to say that none of them have. None that like one of them is worthless. I honestly like. I think I would put Kandarin at the bottom. But you can get Xenite jewelry with Kandarin, so like it's still good. It's also how you can get the Kraken tentacle. So like, whatever. Anyways, I want to break it down by area, so I'm not gonna get into this just yet. But I'm gonna use that as a guide for going forward. So Misthalin, actually really good. It's the base part of the game. However, we will obviously be members. That is really cool. I got a Windows notification. I love Windows. And I actually had to Google this right before I started. You can actually get and kill abyssal demons within just this area alone, assuming that you got the Slayer level required for it. So if you got 85 Slayer, you could get an abyssal whip within this area alone. With fairy rings and using the code, I think it's ALR, you actually can go into the abyssal space, which is not in any particular area. It's not classified as an area, so we actually have access to it as long as we have fairy rings, which you unlock the quest down here in Lumbridge Swamp. So super good, super good. So that means that this area gives us an in-game-ish melee weapon that is pretty decent. So we don't necessarily need other areas to have a melee weapon for in-game because we have a whip. Whip is not the best, but it's definitely usable. So that is something to take note of. I would say the other main benefit of this area alongside fairy rings is dig site and the fact that we can pretty much train every single skill in the game here. Like I don't know of a skill that we can't really train here. Maybe Hunter, but I know we can get some Hunter XP from the museum. You have access to most skills within this area, so that is very useful. So we are locked to Misthalin, and then the other one is Karamja. So let's see if I can't find it here. Yeah, Karamja. So this is Karamja. So Karamja I actually love because we get access to fight caves, obsidian armor, the tackle shops. The tackle shops are super big, so that's a way to get onyxes and a fury. Fury late game is super good. Which technically means that we don't necessarily need the Xenite jewelry, though it is a nice DPS increase to have the Xenite jewelry. So we also can charter using Karamja, which is really good. There is a fruit tree patch and I think a regular tree patch. I'm not sure on that one. And we have a bunch of Slayer monsters in this dungeon down here. Fire Giants is one of them, and some metal dragons. Tagoanai quest series. We do get Hunter down here actually, and I think also somewhere over here there's some Hunter stuff. I think birds are like down here. I think that this. Oh yeah. We also get the Brimhaven agility dungeon, which is actually huge. I actually really love this, and one of the things I've been thinking about especially with how Leagues has worked so far. At the beginning, you get like 5 to 8 times bonus XP, an XP multiplier. As you progress into Leagues, the further you get, you actually get more XP multiplier. So like by the end of the League series, assuming you've progressed all the way to the max unlocks, you would have something like 20 to 25 times XP multiplier. So something that you would do in this case, or that I'm thinking about doing Brimhaven Dungeon, getting the agility tickets from inside of here, and saving those until I have a 20-25 times XP multiplier and just cashing out. It should be a shortcut for agility, assuming I can actually do the unlocks in time. So there's that. We also have a house portal. I actually really like this house portal. It's one of my favorite things about this because it's a very quick teleport to Brimhaven. But I think that we will have a version of a home teleport that basically teleports us to either Brimhaven or Karamja. It's either going to be over here or going to be over here. I think it's going to be in Brimhaven, but I could be wrong. If it is all the way over here, I'm likely going to be using the house portal. So moving on from that, which also we have a really good Slayer Master down here. I forgot about that. We have a really good Slayer Master, decent bank, and I think this is another fairy ring. So yeah. Anyways, moving on, I want to discuss the next area that I think I would like to unlock, and this is going to be our first area unlock. So kind of weighing my options and thinking about what can get me the most tasks and the most completions of like achievements and kind of the most content within an area, and thinking about what level I'm going to be at when I start looking to unlock another area, right? These are all kinds of things that you want to think about when trying to unlock the next area. Is like, what level am I going to be at? What other skills do I want to train? And what skills can I train from that area to unlock the next one? Does it have enough content that I can do that will complete enough tasks for me? So with that being said, so we have the top two, which is fine. I don't know if we'll actually have access to Herblore. I don't think that we will have access to that with just the base 2 unlocked. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll have like quests auto completed if it's not like within a certain region. But if Herblore is locked behind Asgarnia, then that will likely be necessary. But I don't think it is. I'm really thinking. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do Asgarnia because Godward's Dungeon has so many tasks behind it. But I think that's more of a late game area. I don't think I want to do that right away. I think I will save that for way later. Desert is actually really good, but I think that's also a late game thing, though we can maybe do it mid game because Tombs of Amascut or Raid Street is not. It's not like Chambers of Xerix where you have to be maxed to like do it efficiently. You can kind of do it at any level. Fremennik is honestly really good, and it is also the only area where you can get gold leaves and the marble blocks, so it's actually really useful for house tasks. It also has the god books, which I know are also good tasks, especially if you're doing clues. It's got the rings, it's got DKs, it's got a lot of Slayer monsters. It does have Vorkath, and Vorkath is huge. It would be good money Fremennik would be a pretty decent area to unlock early. Also, Basilisk Face Guard, so that's good melee gear. We wouldn't need to do necks in that case. So like we have Obsidian plate body, plate legs, and a face guard. Like that's pretty good gear. The stats on that are pretty low defense wise, but like, Fremennik's not bad. Fremennik's definitely something worth considering. Because you have Vorkath, that gives you so many alchables, and you have the gold leaves and marble blocks that can really shoot your construction level up. I actually don't know if Vorkath drops planks or not. I think it's just logs, right? Yeah, magic logs. 50 noted magic logs, pretty common. Yeah, so this is, oh. Okay, so yeah, Vorkath just dropped magic logs, which are common drops, so that's actually pretty good, but that doesn't help us with construction at all. I mean, this is fine. Like, we'll just end up having to do some wood cutting and then doing planks or plank make. If we unlock Fremennik area, we actually unlock Lunars, which will give us access to things like plank make. That'll help out a lot. We also get the Miscellania Kingdom, which won't be huge, but it'll help a little bit. It can really help push certain skills on some of the last days. So I think Fremennik is definitely a good option for the first area to unlock. Plus you get the rings. The rings are not best in slot anymore because of these rings from Desert Treasure 2. However, these will definitely help out for quite a while, especially the Berserker ring. And we don't have any other ring anywhere else except for Brimstone, which I think is Korend. Yeah. Okay, so moving on, we have Kandarin. Kandarin, huh? It says that they have the occult necklace, but doesn't Krend also have the occult necklace? Because it's dropped by it's dropped from Smoke Devil. This is also in Krend, right? Is this only? I thought Krend had Smoke Devils. Oh, I'm thinking of Dust Devils. Ah, I see. Okay. So that is a bit interesting. Also, I will leave the link for this in the description down below. So if you at some point are thinking about anything or trying to theorize stuff, theorycraft, you'll have access to this. It's on Reddit, posted by Shan Old School RuneScape. So there's a little there's a clout for that. So it also has Kraken, so you'll have the Kraken Whip, which is pretty good for in-game. That's an actual viable weapon. You have access to Monkey Madness, Xenite Jewelry. This isn't bad. So you get Xenite Jewelry and a Occult Necklace. It's really good for magic. You also unlock Piety and Misguild. Kandarin is definitely a consideration. I think honestly I'm still sticking with I think I'm still sticking with Fremnik right now for my second unlock. Well, technically my first, sorry. I think I'm still sticking with Fremnik for my first unlock. Kandarin is definitely good though. I would think about doing Kandarin. Just because like Xenite Jewelry is so good and like demonic gorillas are not that hard. I think you also get what does Kandarin consist of? Yeah, you also get Trinum Stronghold. So you get Trinum Stronghold. It's got Neve as the Slayer Master, which is really good. And if Leagues works anything like the previous Leagues, it'll let you pick your Slayer tasks, which is very useful. You get Ardoon. Ardoon's actually pretty good. More charter stuff over here. And Barbarian, Barbarian Assault. You get the Whirlpool, which is pretty good for Dragon, Slater. You also get Nightmare Zone, so this actually lets you imbue the rings. It's pretty tough. So like, yeah, permanent kind of like the rings do suck a lot more whenever they're not imbued. That's tough. Kandarin is not bad. I think Kandarin's okay to take as your first unlock. Kandarin and Fremnik both are pretty decent. Kandarin is a large chunk of the map, so I'm sure that there's plenty of tasks and content to do. Fremnik is not so much, but it still has a lot. Plus, it's got Vorkath, and you have the rings, DKs, the Slayer Cave. Okay, so we're gonna move on from Kandarin. Morytania. Morytania is pretty good. You get Theater of Blood, which is super good because you get the Scythe and the Sanguinesti staff. Really, really good. You get in-game melee gear, in-game mage gear. Plus you get the Avernic Defender along with Grazia Rapier, Justiciar, Blood Fury. Blood Fury is super good. It's like one of the best things that you can have late game. Which honestly, like, if you're gonna go for Morytania, you can kind of ignore Kandarin in that case because you don't necessarily need the Xenite Jewelry if you're gonna just rock a Blood Fury the whole time. We get the Slayer Helmet, of course. We get Barrows Brothers. They have tons of tasks locked behind them. We get the Salve Amulet. Salve Amulet is huge. This is not bad. Morytania is really good. I don't know if I would unlock it for my first area though. I think I would maybe do third or second, depending on whether or not I unlock Kandarin. Because if I unlock Kandarin, I don't really care about the Blood Fury as much, so I would probably postpone this until late game. But Blood Fury will help do a lot of tasks, almost certainly. Drawn one, or Perfidious. Because that's basically what it is. You do get the Blowpipe. Blowpipe's pretty good. Like this is not bad. Blowpipe and Bofa. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. You get the Bofa, which Bofa is really good. But honestly, I don't think that this is warranted as like a pick, almost at all. Unless you're doing like some sort of specific route with certain relics, because like Blowpipe is a super strong weapon. I believe it's 3 ticks. I know it used to be 2, but I don't know if they changed it. Because I know it got nerfed at some point. It's attack speed is 3. PVM, it's attack speed is 3. Okay. That's right. Yeah, they nerfed it during combat or whatever. It's a 4-tick weapon during PvP, but 3-tick during PVM. So blowpipe is pretty good, and I know that there's tons of relics that are based around combat stuff. If you get one of those broken relics that like increase your or make your damage do a flat extra amount of damage, like for example, if you're wearing 4 pieces of Ceradomin armor, your max hit is increased by 10. If you get something like that and you're using the blowpipe, that is a lot of damage added onto your blowpipe max hit. So if you're only maxing like a 23 or something with your blowpipe, you're now maxing at 33, which is a huge amount of damage. So if you're doing something like that, I could see unlocking this area because blowpipe is really good. And obviously Bofa's pretty good as well. Crystal armor is pretty decent, but apart from that, there's not much going on in this area. I know that there's plenty of content, and there's corrupted gauntlet, which also has a lot of tasks. But apart from blowpipe and Bofa, I don't really see much. Blade of Celdor's like okay, but there's just so much other stuff. The wilderness. So the wilderness is actually really interesting. This is super interesting. This unlock kind of depends on your other unlocks, in my opinion. Dagon doesn't really matter, but it's a super good mid-game mage gear. I guess late game if you don't unlock Kourend or Asgarnia, or not Asgarnia, sorry, Desert. Yeah, I guess it would be the best. So we have all the wilderness weapons, which are like okay, I guess. Like crossbow is okay. Voidwaker is actually really good, but if you go something like Desert, it's outclassed by Oswamtent's Fang or Noxious Scythe if you go Morytania, but Noxious Scythe is also two-handed, so yeah, Voidwaker's okay. Voidwaker's actually wild if you get some sort of weird special relic that like increases your special attack by a certain amount. We also have the Spirit Shields. Spirit Shields in this game mode aren't really that important because defense is not the move in this game mode. All the relics can be super OP when like combined in a certain way. The main point of this game mode is like attack. Like you max out your attack and you do crazy damage. The Spirit Shields are just not it. Corp does have some pretty good drops, but Spirit Shields are just not the wave. You do, however, though, get the Mage Capes. So I think if you're going for like an in-game Mage route, Wilderness is probably the way because getting the Mage Capes is pretty important. So if you're like a Mage one-trick or something just weird, I don't know. Wilderness is okay. I mean, good Mage Capes, good bosses, tons of content, I guess, for task unlocks. And you do get the Voidwaker. Voidwaker is pretty usable. Crossbow is also okay. You do get Dragon Boots, so I guess that technically this is like one of the only ways to. Well, no, that's right, because you can get them from the God Wars dungeon, the regular God Wars dungeon. Moving on to Kourend. So we have Chambers of Xerix in Kourend. You get Ancestrals, Dragon Claws, T-Bow, of course. You get the Dragon Warhammer from Kourend as well, and Rigor and Augury are unlocked from Chambers of Xerix, which is really, really good. That's probably your main contributor to wanting to unlock this area. And the Dragon Hunter bow and Twisted Ward. I think that's what it's called. Oh my gosh, I did not mean to do this. I am sorry. Okay, there we go. Fixed it. So Kodai Wand is also unlocked here. However, we will need the Master Wand from, I think Misthalin? I think it's technically inside of Misthalin. Where is it? Where's the other areas? Oh, here we go. Misthalin. I am wrong. It is part of the desert. That is actually very interesting. Yeah, so the Mage Training Arena is how you'll get the Master Wand. That is actually that's pretty big if you unlock the desert and Kurin. It will give you a ton of content too to unlock everything, but I don't know if you want to combine two in-game areas, because this is in-game and then this is also in-game. I think if you do these two at all, you would do this one second and then this one third. Which is actually really weird because it almost feels like it should be reverse, where you do this one second. Yeah, actually you should probably do this one second. So you can get Master Wand early, go and do Chamber of Xerix. The only reason you would want to do this one first, I guess, is for Dragon Warhammer and the Prayer Scrolls. Maybe the Brimstone Ring as well. Tome of Fire is like pretty nice to have, but not required by any means. Osmompton's Fang is just huge, and Tombs of Masquerade is just something that you can do at, I say at any combat level, at much lower combat levels than Chambers of Xeric. Okay. So, with everything being talked about here now, Friend also has a lot of Slayer tasks, Slayer monsters and stuff in the dungeon. Honestly, I might go Kryn second actually, just because it has all the Slayer monsters down below. Wow, you get T-Bow and Elder Maul. Elder Maul's like meh. It's just not that good. T-Bow's crazy, of course, though. Dragon Hunter Crossbow is also good. Rigor and Augury are just insane. Obviously, you get Ancestral as well. So we get 3 areas to unlock, right? So with everything being said, so we have an in-game-ish melee weapon. We have this whip, right? We do have a rune crossbow, which is like okay. We have onyx jewelry. I almost for certain want to do Asgarnia. So that means if I do Asgarnia, that means I have Void, which means I have armor to do Rage 1. I have a whip, I have a rune crossbow. I guess it also does technically mean that I have gear to do Raids 3 or Forecast with. It's not that bad. Though I really want to do Theater of Blood as well. I want to do all the content. This is a problem. I think Rigger would really help, as well as a T-Bow, for things like the Infernal Cape. I mean, Inferno should be super easy with all the relics that we'll have. So I guess I'm not necessarily worried about that. I can do it with subpar gear. Okay, I think I made up my mind. I am going to do... Venator bow is not that useful though. I think I will do Kandarin. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do Kandarin. So my goal here, firstly, is to max okay. Actually, I think I will do Asgarnia first. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is fine. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm gonna focus on these two areas first. Obviously, get some tasks done. I think I'm going to unlock Asgarnia, go to the Warriors Guild, get some Dragon Defenders, maybe get Void. Once I get Void, I think I will try to go and 7-0 a couple of the Wilderness or Gobbler's Dungeon bosses. Drop rates are increased on leagues, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Asgarnia also has the max cape, which is very useful for me because I do plan on maxing. That will help with utility quite a lot. That will be late game. It also has Nex and Torva as well, so this will guarantee me in-game melee gear. So following Asgarnia, I do have gear for raids now, so I could go and complete raids from here. So I have Torva, I have maxed out melee essentially, and I have really good range gear. So the thing that I'm lacking from here on is mage gear. So I need Infinity Boots, Master Wand, Virtus. This is really pulling me to the desert. However, I don't think I go here next. I think I actually saved the desert for last, and I just go Kandarin. So what this lets me do, I can go ahead and get Zenyte Jewelry, I can get the Occult Necklace to go ahead and buff up my current magic. I can get the Trident, and I can unlock Piety through here, as well as the Dwarf Cannon and the Mythic Cape. And then from here going forward, I would unlock the Desert. And this will let me use Virtus. God, man, dude, it just hurts me. Yeah, I mean, I have to do this because this unlocks the new rings for me. So I think that that's going to be my shot. Asgarnia, go ahead and do everything I can with magic. Maybe get Void, or melee, sorry. Maybe get Void. Start ranging. Go 7-0 a couple of the Gobbler's Dungeon bosses. I unlock my next area. I go to Kandarin. The one problem that I have with this is I don't have a real home. I don't have like a rejuvenation pool or anything. I don't have a crazy home, but I think that's okay because we're gonna have last recall again. So like I don't necessarily need teleportation stuff. I can just go to a bank and then I just use last recall. So yeah, I'm for the most part I think fine with this. And once I get 99 strength, which should be no time at all, I will have a free teleport to the Warriors Guild all the time. So that will be really good utility, and that's in my first area. So that's really not bad. I'm gonna hate not having Rigor or Augury, but that's already chance to get anyway. It's gonna take a long time to get that, even if I'm a friend. So I think I'm okay with not necessarily having it, especially because I'm gonna have Arma and possibly Misori being in the desert, so like it kind of makes up for it, as well as the new best in slot rings. So yeah, I think it makes up for it. We'll also have Tumikin Shadow. Yeah, I think this is good. Okay, so I'm going Whistling Karamja, then I go Asgarnia. I go ahead and max out melee, get Void, range the Goblin Dungeon bosses some, and then I unlock Kandarin. Go ahead and get some upgraded gear, get Piety, Dwarf Cannon. I could even do Myth Cape. Actually, I think Mythic Cape might be locked to Fremennik as well. That's fine. I don't necessarily need it. Piety and Dwarf Multi-Cannon are fine. And then I unlock the desert and I go to Raids 3. And I can start doing Desert Treasure 2 bosses here. I won't have the Scythe, but I think that that's okay. I think it's mainly only needed for Duke. That's not bad. I think that's my favorite route right now. I think there's definitely other routes. Because everyone's going to have their own type of play style here. But I think that's going to be my favorite. Plus, I'm just a big fan of God Wars Dungeon, and I really want an X. And this also gives me access to the Zerite crossbow. So that's really good. Also, I believe, being in Kandarin, I believe one of its diaries is actually the Bolt Spec diary. Elite rewards. Which one? Is it the Fremennik diary? Oh no, here it is. So Kandarin Hard Diary. I just have to do the Hard Diary. 10% increase to the activation chance for the special effect from Enchanted Bolts, which also includes PvP, but that doesn't really matter. This bonus stacks additively with other bonuses like the Armadillo Crossbow's special attack. So that's, yeah. I think picking Kandarin is actually huge here because that will allow us to Ruby spec next way more. Next will be a lot faster. So Asgarnia, Kandarin, and then Desert. We're going to be a next farming machine. At least that's the goal. I think this is good. There's definitely other routes, but I think that's the route that I'm going to be doing. If you guys have any arguments with anything that I've said in the video, feel free to comment down below, discuss it, or if you guys want to talk about your own routes, feel free to drop those down below. I'll be more than happy to talk about them because there's nothing that I love more than theory crafting. Obviously, engagement by commenting is awesome, but I love theory crafting more than anything. If you comment down there or somehow you don't want to do that, you want to go to Discord, that's fine too. Yeah. If we find out more information closer towards the launch of Leagues 4, I might do another one of these, do an updated version, but I think that this is pretty good so far. All in all, like Krend, like really the only bad one I feel like is Prifdinus. But even then, like you have Blowpipe and Bofo, so like it's not bad. Mauritania is an in-game one because of TOB. Barrows is okay. You get some early game to mid game gear, but the mid game doesn't last that long. Wilderness is like okay, but Spirit Shields don't matter, and that's like one of the Wildy's biggest things. Mage Capes are huge though, along with the Void Waker. And yeah, I think everything else I covered pretty in depth. Asgarnia is going to be huge. I'm very excited for this. Asgarnia and Desert combo with Kandarin. I think that this is going to be good. Okie doke, that's going to be it from me. Again, if you guys want to discuss anything, feel free to comment it down below. I would be more than happy to discuss it with you. And yeah,